And the last one is caffeine, sugar intake. This is like one of the biggest things I see in the society is we sort of rely on caffeine as our energy source. I know none of us do that, right? Here, we don't do that. Of course not. Unfortunately, caffeine becomes a source of energy, and what happens is then you are obviously depending on it. And your body's like, I guess I don't need to produce that anymore. She's got it covered, you know? She's producing it all by herself with her cup of coffee each day. You know, we get that 3 o'clock wall, and we think we need caffeine. But what is it that we really need? When you really check in at that moment, what do you need? Maybe you do need a nap. I mean, that's very possible. You might just need to close your eyes for 2 minutes and breathe. You might need to move. So you want to actually ask yourself, is it really caffeine that I need? Why am I lacking energy? Or is there something that's going on in my life that my body really doesn't feel the need to keep going? Like, are you feeling a little bit depressed? The body's like, why? 3 o'clock, let's just go to bed and forget it. The day's over, I'm done. You know, because that's very possible. And I deal with a lot of people that sort of give up. And so if you've given up and you're sort of just going with the motions, it's like, why give yourself energy? The body doesn't see the need. So you really want to question, why would my body get tired at 3 o'clock if you're hitting that wall, or whatever time it is?
Isn't that a physical, biological fact? I mean, that, you know, that you kind of have these...
Your cortisol levels obviously range, but you shouldn't be tired at 3 o'clock. That's very, very early. Your cortisol should not be dropping off till later in the evening for you to go to sleep. So it's going to spike in the morning, and it's going to waver a little, but it's going to relatively be in the same place. Now, if you didn't eat lunch, of course it's going to drop. No, so there's going to be that plays into it. But if you're having regular meal rhythm, you should not be falling asleep at 3 o'clock. And in my life, I noticed when I was personal training and I was kind of over it, like I was ready to start my coaching practice and really do what I love, I was hitting that 3 o'clock wall every single day. And I had a 3 o'clock client, so it was like getting myself out of the house was like, oh, and I loved that client too. It had nothing to do with him. But I was like, I just want to lay on this couch and not move. But what I realized was I was lying to myself. I wasn't stepping up. I wasn't doing what I really wanted to do in my life. And as soon as I quit personal training and started my coaching business, it was like I've never had a 3 o'clock wall since, ever. Sometimes I might need a nap here and then, but it's not the same. It's not that same drop. So you do want to question, you know, am I getting proper sleep would be a place to start, of course. If you're getting 2 hours of sleep, what do you think is going to happen? So, and then looking at the caffeine levels. So for me, I cannot do caffeine at all, pretty much, because I don't sleep at night. My body just, I don't know what, it doesn't like caffeine or something, doesn't do anything with it. So I just sort of process it all day and it doesn't go away. So you would, of course, look at those things first. Like, am I sleeping properly? Am I having too much caffeine? Am I getting enough protein, carbs, and fat in my diet? You look at all that stuff first. If all that looks good, then you start looking at the emotional, psychological things going on in your life. Am I really doing what I love? Am I really happy? That kind of thing. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. The other thing that I always throw in there, like I said, I don't tell people what to do, but I make a very strong recommendation not to do artificial sweeteners. You know, it's chemicals, and the body doesn't know what it is. I don't like to be the test for anything, and we're basically the test for these. They have not been around long enough. Obviously, you can get tons of alternatives here at Whole Foods, and I just like plain sugar. I was raised that way. We never did margarine. We just had butter and sugar. I mean, like, that was it. You know, we'd eat it every day, but I would just prefer to have the regular sugar personally. But the diet drinks, they don't help you lose weight if that's what you're doing at all. In fact, they increase your appetite, they increase your cravings for sugar. It's a very negative thing to do if you're doing it for weight loss, but also for health reasons as well.